Forum on Understanding Innovations, a benchmark for economic growth and competitiveness. Today's forum is being jointly sponsored by the Department of Science and Technology, the International Development Research Center, and the Philippine Institute for Development Studies. To formally start our forum, I would like to invite the President of the Philippine Institute for Development Studies to give us the welcome remarks. So everybody, please all welcome Dr. Joseph Yap.
Thank you, Edwin. The Honorable Senator Edgardo J. Angara, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Philippine Institute for Development Studies and the Department of Science and Technology, I would like to welcome all of you to this forum on understanding innovations, a benchmark for economic growth and competitiveness. This forum was supposed to be held last September 27 as part of our observance of Development Policy Research Month. The economist Paul Krugman once quipped, competitiveness is a dangerous obsession. So competitiveness is a dangerous obsession. He was referring to conventional wisdom that competitiveness is often attributed to competition among countries. Countries, however, do not compete in the global marketplace. It is firms that compete. Hence, competitiveness should be a firm-level concept. At the firm level, the most important aspect of competitiveness is technological capability. At this point, please allow me to introduce our key note speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce our speaker for today. He is an educator, a lawyer, banker, arts patron, farmer, and the longest-running senator, or longest-serving senator in the post-EDSA Senate. He is the Philippine representative to the Union Latina and the first Filipino Lee Kuan Yew Fellow. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chairman of the Congressional Committee on Science and Technology, the Honorable Senator Edgardo J. Angara.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yap. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Nabati ko ang aming dating kalihim, si Secretary Seth Fodiosco, one of the most successful, pragmatic secretaries of DOST. Welcome, Seth. Si Professor Forum, I think innovation is like a magic word to me, because I thought that we need innovation in every aspect of life and society for us to move forward. The danger in our country, in our society, is that there are not enough innovators. And I think this survey made of 500 firms doing innovation is a very timely, relevant piece of input into policy making and into planning our future. It's heartwarming to see that almost majority of the 500 firms are considered innovators. But it's also quite saddening to notice that part of that key findings that our government is practically a very passive, very indifferent actor in innovation in this country. Which is quite sad because when you think about it, the innovation countries like China, India, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, they are first in innovation because their governments, respective governments, are singularly committed to game-changing technologies to pushing the limit of the human imagination in order to create new goods, new services for their people. I think that's the kind of commitment that will push a country on the innovation path. And so we see the sad fact that our own government, not just this present government, you cannot single out a single government in the past, say, 2.5 decades, that you can say this particular government really pushed innovation in our society, in agriculture, in health, in governance, etc. No, you cannot single out any particular administration. So the share must be blame, must be shared. The blame must be shared equally. But it's time for us to wake up. Because without innovation, without change, without having to change, for instance, effect change in education, in agriculture, in health, well, the most obvious now, the most patent in governance, we will not get out of the classification we are in, low-income country, and still sliding towards a lower income country as our population grows. By that innovation will now begin to originate in Asia, no longer in the developed West. Why? For the simple reason that Asian economies are producing more scientists, technologists, and engineers. And that's why innovation will now come mostly from Asia. That's Asia by 2025. To study the disaster science management, as well as train local governments and school administrators how to cope and help cope with disasters. So those are examples. We want to try this new paradigm of research skills training in our country, because the existing traditional one of each university doing things by itself, autonomously, without almost regard to anyone, has brought us to this state, to this sad state of poor higher education outcomes. We want to raise it and use our higher education institutions as a vehicle, as a generator of change in partnership with government and industry.
At this point, I have the honor of introducing Undersecretary Fortunato de la Peña, who will be giving a background of the study. Professor de la Peña is actually the main reason why the Philippine Institute for Development Studies is involved in this project. I've said this before, and I'll repeat it here. Prof. de la Peña was my teacher twice, 2 times during my days as an undergraduate in the College of Engineering. So any request he makes is always met with an automatic, yes sir. Professor de la Peña has played an important and pioneering role in the several programs, the OST's Manufacturing Productivity Extension Program, the Technology Business Incubation Program.
Thank you very much, John. Good morning to everyone, and of course my very warm greetings to the Honorable Senator Edgardo Angara. And I would also like to congratulate PIDS. I think this is Policy Month. We have just concluded Policy Month, and this would have been one of the activities under Policy Month, except that on September 27 we had a strong typhoon and this was postponed. But I was listening intent. By the way, I would like to also greet former Secretaries Severino Poliosco and Filipon Uriarte Jr. And I was listening intently to the message of Senator Angara, and I was very happy to note that the main points that he was stressing were actually very supportive of the major strategies or pillars of the National Innovation Strategy that we have proposed since 2007 under the name of Philippine Innovation. when he cited the need to support strongly the state universities and colleges and the other higher educational institutions like the private universities and colleges, that is actually a very strong expression of support to the first strategy, which is investing in human capital. And then when he started talking about the incubation parks, and he cited his recent experience with the existing DOS, PESA, Open Technology Business Incubator. That was what he was referring to, and he said that it just opened 3 years ago, actually sir, parang 2 years lang, 2009. And they have already launched a number of startups which are now operational. I just wanted to make a minor correction in a way, because we have also one very old existing incubator there, and it is the Ayala Business Incubator, which started operating in 1994. And we have a very new one, which is the Enterprise Center, operating at the National Engineering Center, which is actually a pre-incubation facility.
I'd just like to kwento lang ko how innovation really is very, very important. I just came from Davao. We had our regional director meetings in Davao. And part of our activity really is to go around our projects in Davao. I will just cite 2 samples how innovation can really make a difference, create an impact, or creating economic activity. One of the projects that was presented to us by UP Mindanao, ang tawag nila is Sago. Sago, it comes from, it's a palm. It's a wild tree or wild palm. Tumutubo siya in 5 to 6 years. Pag siya mamulaklak na, malapit siya sa pamatay. You should be able to harvest it already. Now, inside this plant is the sago, which is almost 100% starch. What is interesting is that for every hectare of wild sago plant or plantation, you get 20 to 25 tons of starch. For comparison, yung rice, you get 5.5 tons per hectare. Yung corn would have a similar number. Now, what is important? Bakit talaga natin different is that yung sago, hindi ka nagtatanong, you don't have to plant. You don't even have to put fertilizer. It's there. What is important, what is needed lang is to harvest it and to convert it into something usable, which is, we call it sago. We can start first with sago flour. Now, there's another thing, kasi ngayon also doon yung planted trees. For hardwood, we went to a panel door. One of our recipient of our CELPAC assistants, tapos nagkikwento siya, no? They buy their hardwood at 20 pesos per board feet. They use our field drying facilities and it increases, it increases the value to 50 pesos per board feet. They convert it to panel doors using equipment, again, innovation. The value becomes 120 to 150 pesos per board feet. So, yung lumber starts at 20 pesos, it can be converted, you add value to it to 150 pesos, 120 to 150 pesos. And because he uses very, very vocal siya, he uses innovation that enables him to come up with very competitive, very good quality panel doors na the market, his market is almost unlimited. He was really very, very surprised how his market for quality doors, because he uses both technology and innovation, talagang lumaki na lumaki yung potential of it, after two. Now, science, technology, and innovation, we can create value, real value, and it really can create economic activity in the countryside, which is the whole the inclusive economic growth na kailangan